I can't wait to finish it. I wish it was finished now. But it's not a... I mean, a lot of my friends are saying, oh, he'll never finish that thing. He just uses it to keep him sane while he does advertising. And I say, well, okay, if you're so smart, you put, what is it, $3 million we put into The Thief? That's a hell of a hobby.
And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone.
Perhaps one of the greatest tragedies in animation, if not all of film, is the story of Richard Williams and his labor of love, The Thief and the Cobbler. When I read about the long 31-year journey that only ended with Williams' vision not being fulfilled, I can't help but think of Sisyphus pushing the giant boulder up the hill, only to have it come crashing down at the bottom as he neared the top. I won't go into the film's long backstory here, as simultaneously depressing and inspiring as it is. What I wish to discuss are the differences between Richard Williams' vision for his masterpiece versus that of the butchered version released by Miramax in the early 90s. To give you some idea as to the extent of these changes, Miramax added musical numbers, they created new animation for the film, but somehow ended up with a film 20 minutes shorter than Williams' original work print. However, as bad as those musical numbers were, the real crime was giving voices to characters that had originally been mute. For those of you who haven't seen the film, the plot revolves around a simple cobbler named Tack, who gets involved in a plot by the evil Vizier Zigzag to take over the Golden City with the help of an invading army of one-eyed monster men things. Along for the ride is a nameless thief who wanders around just outside the plot until he manages to steal the 3 sacred golden balls that protected the city with their magic. Now, in the original version, Tack and the thief were silent characters, but were both given voices in the Miramax version. To what end does this affect the film? Well, the original intent of The Thief and the Cobbler was to offer a visual experience, which it does in spades, offering us an animated world that's a mix between Persian artwork, M.C. Escher, and the psychedelic. Perspectives are skewed, gravity changes on a whim. It's a true delight to watch these characters interact with this landscape as we, the audience, discover its paths and designs and intricacies. The characters themselves are softer in design, but just as abstract. Remember, this was before computers became involved in animation, and Williams was a perfectionist, so every widescreen frame, 24 frames every second, was painstakingly drawn and painted by hand. The fact that we cannot see every frame as intended is almost like only getting to see 75% of the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. I'm dead serious on that. By design, this film was meant to be experienced and processed ourselves, not explained to us. Unfortunately, in the Miramax version, the role of just about all of Tack's dialogue and narration is that of exposition and explanation. Matthew Broderick does an okay job with what he's given, but it ultimately dumbs down the film, probably because the studio felt the poor, stupid audience couldn't handle it. Now that's the thing though, people tend to digest visual information a lot easier. As for the character himself, the silent version of Tack is a much stronger hero. There's a reason we're drawn to silent heroes, see them as stoic and in charge, even if they have to be lanky cobbler types. They don't complain, they don't explain, they don't argue or debate or comfort with words, they just go out and get things done. The thief fares far worse. In the Miramax version, he was made into a wisecracking goof who made hundreds of anachronistic pop culture references. This was sadly a trend that was becoming popular after the release of Aladdin, with its trend-savvy genie character dating the film horribly. In case you don't know, I hate the Shrek franchise for that very reason, and seeing such a classic silent character type being turned into a pop culture vomit machine is really sad. It seems at times that the physical and verbal comedy are competing for attention, and this leads to perhaps the biggest butchering of the entire film, the scene of the fall of the One-Eye Army. It's a very long, extended sequence of continued kinetic action as a thief wanders around the self-destructing war machine of the One-Eyes in pursuit of the 3 golden balls. It's a Rube Goldberg machine taken to 11, but cut to shreds in the Miramax version. I'm almost certain it's because they ran out of witty things for the thief to say, and edited it down because silence scared Miramax. Now, while all the other characters talk, they didn't really talk per se. The king is drowsy all the time, Princess Yum Yum is a bit of an airhead, Yum Yum's nanny just hums most of the time, Zigzag's lackeys just repeat a few token phrases over and over again, the brigands mutter, the One-Eyes have nothing to say beyond boasts of power, and the Mad Witch rambles nonsensically. There is one exception to this, and that's Zigzag himself. Zigzag loves to talk, and that aspect of his character makes a lot more sense in the original version. To coin a phrase, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, and in the land of the mute, the chatty one gets away with just about anything. Brought to life by the always amazing Vincent Price, Zigzag's powers of manipulation comes from his way with words. This aspect of his character is diminished when Tack and the thief won't shut up. This is only one way in which Miramax tarnished what could have easily been one of the most influential animated films of all time. Thankfully, dedicated fans to the film have reconstructed it as close to Richard Williams' vision as possible, using an old work print as the basis. Dubbed The Thief and the Cobbler, the recobbled cut, it really is a must-see. As of this video, you can find it on YouTube. You'll be glad you did.